Yo, OnlyHaters, we back. It actually is episode 11. I went and looked this time so I wouldn't mess up. I was tired of fumbling the bag. But man, March Madness, kind of March Midness this year. I ain't gonna lie. It's kind of tough out here in these streets. But basketball, not even just March Madness. Kyrie doing Kyrie shit. A bunch of playoff seedings coming down to the wire. And then before we get into most hated, I'm not going to do it because I am white, but I'm going to host Deion and Pierre doing a top 5 white people draft, going back and forth. It's going to be fun.
For sure.
Before we get into all that, P, how was your weekend?
Weekend was cool, man. Birthday was cool. So I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I'm living good. How you feeling, Deion?
I'm chilling, bro. Chilling. Smooth little weekend.
Stop right here. I just caught you lacking, bro. What is you doing? Why are you not liking, commenting, and subscribing to the OnlyHaters podcast? What do you got to lose? It's free. Matter of fact, I'm going to wait on you to go ahead and do that. Quit trying to skip the video, bro. Just go ahead and do it. It takes 2 seconds. It don't even take that long. Just go ahead and do it. I appreciate you, man. On a serious note, thank everybody for all the support. We pumping out these episodes, giving y'all banger content, and there's only more to come. So without further ado, let's get into this episode.
I know Deion chilling because that Miami bet's still alive. So let's go ahead and start there. First off, I'd like to preface it with this. Miami is proof that the formula is never going to change. If you got a good coach and 2 to 3 experienced hella good guards, you going to make a run in March. That being said, honestly, this is probably the first game you've really had a sweat. I mean, I know the first round was close, but since then it's been 2 blowouts. But now you got to play UConn, who might look like the best team in the nation, and then hopefully you're gonna be playing FAU in the Natty if you beat UConn. But how are you feeling, man? I mean, we talking a big bet here.
I'm chilling. I mean, I'm not tripping off the money. I said it before. This is for my legacy as a gambler. You know what I'm saying? Like, the money is like a nice cherry on top. Obviously, you're never gonna turn down money. You know what I'm saying? But this one's for my legacy. Like, no one, he doesn't win. Ooh, can't bet this, can't bet that. Well, I hit Miami plus 3,000 to win the Natty as a 5 seed before the tourney started. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to go ahead and say, I'm not trying to cut my man Deion off, but for everybody listening, everybody watching, that's the clip of the year right there. It's a legacy drive, man.
Legacy.
This is legacy we talking about.
No, you best believe it. If that shit hits, we going back to the 2 weeks before the tournament started.
Legacy.
And we clipping that first bit, and then we gonna clip this one, and then that's a screenshot bet.
It's a screenshot. Look,
that's a bet you screenshot and you put that bitch on Twitter, and you I hit.
This is it. Bro,
look, I mean, I don't even know if there's a way to look this up, but what do you think the percentage of people that actually bet Miami to win the Natty?
I'm gonna say
before the tourney.
I'm gonna say fans in Deion. That's it. That's literally it. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. This is greatness, and I'm sitting a part of it. Deion said maybe 2 weeks ago he had a research book. It went 100 pages deep, and out of all of them pages, this is what we got. I might just buy the book next year.
On God.
Listen, I took Miami before all of that. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I've watched Miami a ton. I watched probably both Duke games, maybe one of the UNC games, one of the Virginia games, and then one non-conference game. So probably about 5 games. I'm a West Virginia fan, so I know Nigel Pack well. And I loved Miami last year with Isaiah Wong. So my thought process was I think they got the best 2. Forget the best backcourt in the country. I think they have the best 2 guards in the country, alone. So I was just again, bro, legacy bet. It ain't about the money. Obviously, the money's nice, but no one can take it away from you when you hit a future like this.
No. And it's that's it right there, though. Because when I watched Miami play Duke that second game, that's when I knew This is the best team in the ACC. They have a great experienced coach in Larinaga. They do have,
what's his
you know,
name?
even Larinaga.
Even if I thought you said Larry nigga.
All right, chill on me. All right, we'll call him Lara Cracker to make it straight.
even the odds.
But then, like, even if you don't think they're the best two guards, they at least at worst they both top 5. So it's like they got that and Larinaga, and then on top of that, like Amir is
nice.
He's nice as hell. So it's like
they're not deep. You know what I mean?
No.
Like that's why they're a 5 seed. If they had the depth that Texas has, then they're probably like a 2 or a 1 seed. Because like, I mean, their backcourt's a spitting image. Like when I was watching this game, I'm like, yo, these are the same 2 teams. like literally the same 2 teams. They act the exact same. Texas is just a little deeper, and they're missing Daisu today, whatever.
Yep.
But they're just not deep. But they have guards that are dogs. That Miller kid can play too.
Bro. Oh my! Jordan Miller has played his way into a late first round draft pick.
And like I understand why Isaiah Wong won't be like picked to go to the draft. Like I get it to an extent, but I think that's a mistake. Like he I don't know.
It's the tough shot making that he has that you don't see out of other college guards.
Yeah, and it's like so like that was what they were saying about who's the kid the Hornets drafted 2 years ago from UConn, Book Knight?
Yeah, James.
Yeah, so that was the whole reason he went Lotto. They're like, yo, he like hits tough shots with defenders like close to him at like a high clip. And I always thought to myself, I'm like, yeah, but the problem is he can't create space in the Big East. So what makes you think, like what makes you think he's gonna create space in the NBA? Like I get that it's dope that he can hit like super tough shots, but Wong can create space. Like he has zero issues creating space. Like if you play good defense, he'll still hit a bucket. But 7 out of his 10 shots, he gets a good look. So
I will say that about March Madness that it has been mid. I'll say that, but we have seen some elite guard play this whole tournament. So obviously that's my favorite part of it. But yeah, Miami, they came back from what? How big was the deficit?
Like 12, 15 maybe.
It stayed between 9 and 12 for a solid.
It was a high.
I know it was 12 at the 10-minute mark. I can't remember if it was higher than that before that. But with 10 to go, it was 12.
It was 72-62 with 8 to go, I think. And then they got fouled or something like that and made it 8. But this is when I knew Miami was going to win that game. I think it was either 72-68 or 74-70 something. And Wong got trapped on the baseline and hit that fall away contested like 13-footer. And I was like, bruh, that's a literal NBA shot. Like that's just an NBA shot.
The script was scripted. That's what you're saying. The script was scripted.
Bro, he like him and Nigel, it's like maybe you go 20-ish minutes without either of them doing anything like in the first half. But it's like, it doesn't matter. Like at some point they're going to explode and you better be up a lot when they do that. Well, and clearly 12 ain't enough.
And see, that's the thing is like, yeah, they're not deep, but their starting 5 is so good that if Wong and Pack are off, Miller and Poplar can both also light it up. And then Amir, so they're just tough. But I mean, I'll be completely honest, as good as they've been, it's hard for me to see anyone beating UConn right now. They
tough, bro. I mean, they tough.
I don't think the way, like we get on here and we talk about Miami's guards a lot, and I do think that's like obviously the center focus, but they ain't small. You know what I mean? Like I feel like UConn ain't played anybody that has Amir. And granted, bro, he's 2 fouls away from this comment being out of like, you know what I mean? Like not even mattering. But I mean, they just beat up on really small teams so far.
Yeah. And I think the one advantage I will give Miami is we talked about it because you said something about how freaking Andre Jackson can't shoot. And he really can't shoot. But for some reason, the last two games, Gonzaga sagged off of him. And the game before that, Arkansas sagged off of him, and they figured out how to beat it. So Miami's not going to do that. But where I think Miami has the advantage is we've seen it before. If your big man's the best player on the team, you're not winning. Even if Sanogo goes off, like, they're going to be able to make it super difficult for Jordan Hawkins. And he's like the fire starter for UConn. If Jordan Hawkins has an off night, it's very hard for me to imagine them having a great game. And that it's going to be tough.
The pace Miami plays at, I think, is going to cause UConn trouble. I know they play at a quick pace, allegedly. I use the word allegedly because everyone's like they're a high paced team. I think they're high paced in transition because they have incredible athletes, but like I don't think they're high paced in the half court. Miami's high paced does not matter.
Do you think Gonzaga's high paced a little bit?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. But I think the problem that Gonzaga had, like Timmy just was in foul trouble. Like he just didn't.
And it was some bullshit. Let's not be mistaken.
Like if Omier gets in foul trouble, the same thing will happen. Like, but I mean, UConn, who'd they play in the second round or the Sweet 16?
Arkansas.
Yeah, I remember watching that game, and like I know Arkansas was close at halftime, but it was like 5 minutes in. I'm like, they just don't stand a chance. Like they're just too small. I felt the same way about Gonzaga too.
That's where I think it's really, this is where Miami can kind of flip the script on UConn. Gonzaga's not big, but they're also not guard heavy like Miami. Like Strother's not really a guard. Bolton is like, he's not as good as Pack or Wong. You look back at the previous round, Arkansas. I mean, they play Nick Smith, Anthony Black, and Davis. Everyone else they play in their rotations, a forward or a big. UConn thrives off of Sanogo and Klingon. They can't both be on the court against Miami. They will get exposed. That's where it's going to get hard. They can't do that against Miami.
What I like about Miami is like if you don't switch, it doesn't matter because Wong and Pack can take advantage. And if you do switch, I mean, you're definitely cooked. You know what I mean? Like it just they're gonna score. It's just a matter of if they can get a rebound.
It's also helpful that they have, I swear to God, like bigs in the NBA, not typically the best at shooting free throws, but bigs in college really can't shoot free throws. But that man Omier shoot like 75%. So
pretty high clip for him.
And listen, I get UConn should be favored. I saw the lines like -5. I think that's mad disrespectful.
Ridiculous.
I think that's mad disrespectful. But keep disrespecting them.
Hey, all I know is we said last week that Miami -7, which the fact that it's Miami +7 last week against Houston, the fact that number stayed there is ridiculous to me. But that was the most free money ever because for some reason the odds makers really do not believe in Miami, and I'm not really sure. Like, how can you make the line anything more than like 3?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's in Houston. That's nowhere near UConn. Like, these Miami boosters are going to shell out money to get people down there. They spent $3 million on the roster, 2.2, whatever the number is. They spent a lot of. I know Nigel Pack got close to $1 million, so it's like, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens.
So, all right, we'll go to the other Final Four matchup in a second, but before we do, just off these regions, Miami won the Midwest, and why am I going blank? UConn won the West. What was y'all's biggest takeaways from this past weekend from those two regions?
The West folded like a motherfucker. That's what I thought. They folded like hell. Like if you would have, I mean, we y'all saw it. We predicted this shit. Like we thought Texas was gonna do the dance. I thought Kansas was gonna do the dance. You thought UCLA was gonna do the dance. UConn was the one that made it out. This shit folded. The strongest bracket section that we thought was gonna come out crazy, they didn't come out. They didn't come out to play for real. And sadly enough, we're not even talking about this region, but even Alabama, dog, that's some crazy shit. They got popped.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that for sure. I mean, I agree with you. Like, that's why I don't really know how to judge UConn right now, because I'm not trying to take away from how good they've been, but like, and it does take this to win a championship, but the path has also been perfectly placed in front of them. Like, they haven't had to face the challenge yet.
I think every to win championship you need lucky breaks.
Yep.
And
in every
FAU,
sport.
every sport, yeah, every sport, but specifically in the one and done type scenario, right? Because it's 7-game series, you can get a lucky break, but the other team can just get it right back. You know what I mean? There's enough time to go back and forth type shit. In the one and done scenario, you have to get lucky. FAU's gotten lucky. Who do they play?
They play San Diego State.
San Diego State, they've gotten lucky, right?
Yeah.
They really
Bama could have
lucky.
buried them. Brandon Miller shot 4 for 27.
He shot 3 for 19.
You know what I mean? There was zero reason San Diego State should have won that game. Bama played good enough to win. They just didn't get it done. Obviously, Miami was down 8 with 5 to go against Drake. They were down 12 with 10 to go against Texas. You have to get these lucky breaks. Houston kind of just fumbled the bag, which I said they would eventually.
Houston gonna Houston.
Yeah, Houston just did what Houston does. UConn really, other than not having to play Kansas, other than not having to play UCLA, they haven't gotten lucky yet. You know what I mean? They haven't had that lucky break. So it's I guess my question would be is it coming or is it just not going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was literally about to ask. Yeah.
Me personally, I think the Strother make and them getting to play Gonzaga instead of UCLA was a lucky break because UCLA matches up with them so much better. And
unless you know what, that and the 4 fouls on Timmy.
Yeah, it's I just think Miami's a nightmare matchup for them, plain and simple. And I don't know. I mean, I get it. UConn looks like the best team in the nation, but I'm just a believer that even if you don't want to include Poplar, Wong, Pack, or Miller, one of them's giving you 20 in a game. And in college, that's the equivalent of an NBA guy giving you 40. So,
and I low key think Omier could give you 20 too.
He could.
It might be a different type of 20, but if you take away the other 4, he could hit you for 10 dunks.
See, that's what I like about what Miami's been through, though. You just said it. They fought back in a lot of games. UConn has blasted every team they've played. So if it's a nitty-gritty, close, physical game, Miami's going to pull it out.
I think the first 5 minutes are going to be crazy important for both teams. I think UConn has to win the first 5. If they don't, I think they could get punched in the mouth and it could be over. For Miami, it's that's you're kind of playing with monopoly money in the first 5 because you can come back.
So let's move on to the other matchup that we talked about. First off, Florida Atlantic, America's team. They are fun as hell because they literally play 7 guards and a 7'1" big. You love to see it. Big NBA style. Also, I know Marquise Noel still had an absurd stat line against Florida Atlantic, but shout out to their coach for being the first one with a reasonably sized brain on how to defend Marquise Noel. I don't they at least made it tough for him at the rim. Watching Michigan State and Kentucky defend him with always switching the big onto him, over helping on drives and allowing him to be a passer. I didn't get it. And we talked about this. The coaching in college is just suspect sometimes. So how do you feel about that? Because I just don't understand. Marquise Noel is super fun, entertaining, but he was just game planned for terribly.
Bro, I mean, if you wanted to take it from me, it's I don't know. I guess you could try to say they're trying to make somebody else beat you. But at that point, bro, if a motherfucker got 12 assists by halftime, scratch that shit. Go to the drawing board and scratch the whole thing. You got to come up with something new. That's just Michigan State. But, I mean, even the last game, once again, what Deion was saying, it's just lucky breaks, bro, because he was hooping his ass off. It's just they got away with it. That's how I see it.
Not
wrong. San Diego a little different though. They low-key just they robbed some shit and got up the fuck up out of there. But yeah, y'all see where I'm coming.
I just think Marquise Noel is really fucking good. It is.
He is.
They did solid on him. You know what I mean? But I don't really think Like, I don't think FAU won that game. I think Kansas State just bottled it. Shit happens. You know what I mean? Like I say Miami shouldn't be there, but like I really don't believe that. Like I do believe Miami has the talent to make this run. Do they lack depth? Sure. But they have a coach that's been to the Final Four before. They got a shitload of seniors. Like they have everything it takes to get to the Final Four. Kansas State was picked last, like preseason in the Big 12. Jerome Tang's a first-year coach. I mean, yeah, he was at Baylor and won a natty, so he has experience. But like that team, yeah, Keontae Johnson, I don't know if I'm saying that right, like literally almost died.
Yep.
Yeah. like this team should not be there. So for me, UCLA bottling it, Gonzaga bottling it, Houston bottling it, like Bama bottling it.
It's a difference.
It's different. Like Kansas State to me, like they way, way, way exceeded expectations.
I agree.
Just because they played a team in FAU that they were favored against and like probably should have beat, emotionally, like we don't know how much it took for them to get to that point to how much they had left necessarily in that game.
I'm literally gonna piggyback off you and talk about Marquise a little bit more. When you get game playing like that, there's also a tremendous amount of pressure to make the right decisions, and he made a lot of really, really good decisions. So that's really a credit to him, though, for real. So he's a really good fucking player.
Yeah, he is.
And in the game, their previous round game, I forget who they played in the Sweet 16, but where he had like 25 and 19.
Michigan State.
Yeah. People are like, yo, like Marquise Noel, like, yeah, he's keeping them in the game with these threes, but he has to keep them in the game because he's blowing the game with the logo threes. It's like, bro, like that's clearly his game. He has to shoot that three. Like you game plan against him and he beats your game plan because if he makes a couple of those, you can't game plan like the way you want to anymore. So like live and die. You got to live and die with what you do.
I mean, the only way you can possibly say anything negative about Marquise Noel's game is the fact that he is a zero on defense. But when you're doing what he was doing on offense, who cares?
He ended up getting that game winning steal. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, for example, in the Michigan State game, like, yes, every time Tyson Walker or Hogard got the ball, they absolutely went at him and scored every time, but he was bringing it back on the other end, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. If you want to talk about a team that like I think like really bottled it, it's Michigan State.
They big bottled it.
Like, bro, like they I mean, that's a team that like from the jump had enough talent to make a run, and they under exceeded expectations, in my opinion. I mean, I've heard Gene Cart like preseason talk about the team, and like they're talking about like they beat borderline tourney team, whatnot. But like, I feel like once the season started, like they specifically in Big Ten play, they showed other stuff, and you kind of saw the tone even from them and other Big Ten like pundits change a little bit. And bro, there's zero reason they should have lost to Kansas State.
They should.
I mean, Izzo drawing up a play that doesn't even lead to a shot. I understand Hauser should have shot it, but like it was a bad play call. It was badly ran, badly called, like all around. Like it ending in a steal with a 5-7 point guard. It's like crazy. Like that's a team. If there was any team in the Sweet 16, I think really fumbled it. It's them.
That's what bothers me the most about the play call is all game. Hogard and Walker downhill
attacking
on Marquise Noel.
It didn't make sense.
Why did you not run a play to set a pick at half court with one of your guards receiving the ball going downhill and trying to take something over Marquise Noel? I don't get it.
Overthinking. You overthink the moment. I mean, like, bro, that happens a lot. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, but see,
you know what I'm saying? Like the tension high, you got to hurry up and think, bro. Like you overthink it, bro. Like,
but you also have to have like with all due respect to Tyson Walker and AJ Hogard. I will not pretend that I've watched a ton of Michigan State games, but you got to have the dudes that want the ball. You know what I mean? Like those two are sitting in that huddle, like they can say something like, "Yo, fam, like just get me the shit." You know what I mean? Like, and the same for Joey Hauser. Like, with all due respect to him, like it couldn't be more obvious he didn't want the ball. And so, like, if a play is drawn for you, and you in your mind you're hesitating, like maybe just say something, right? Like, I don't know. That both sides like have to say something in that situation.
This is the perfect region to talk about this in, but I tweeted something about this probably like 2.5 hours ago, but there comes a point where, and I say this because, yeah, K-State was a 3 seed, but still they weren't supposed to be there. FAU's a 9, San Diego State's like, there comes a point when upsets are terrible for the game. And this just is like, of course, the college basketball diehards are going to watch 9-seeded FAU play 5-seeded San Diego State and 5-seeded Miami play 4-seeded UConn. But they're trying to grow the game and expand the brand. Having a 9-5, 5-4 Final Four is not good for the game of college basketball.
I think UConn Miami's fine.
Yeah.
I think those are two big schools. Like UConn's of like they're not blue blood, but they're like.
But in recent, I would say in recent memory,
chips.
They have championships.
Yeah, like they like a casual fan knows about UConn, right? And then Miami might not be like it's a party school, but it's still in Miami. So like I think that matchup's fine. FAU's fine. Like I think a 9 seed making it cool, but like you needed is San Diego State but Bama needed to come out of
You needed Bama. If Bama was in this Final Four, it's perfect. Because you have the Cinderella, you have the number 1, and then you have the 2 not really Cinderellas, but not like super high seed. Like it's perfect. But
those 2 teams, by the way, are both like dramatically underseeded. Like UConn, should be a higher seed. I think they dealt with injuries. And then Miami being a 5, bro, they were like number 14 in the country. Like, what are we talking about?
And then FAU is honestly dramatically underseeded as well. They went 31-3. I don't care if they're in Conference USA. They went 31-3 and absolutely steamrolled everyone they played. And John L. Davis is an NBA player. I would just like to get that out there right now. Like, I genuinely think FAU, and I hope so, because I personally want to see FAU and Miami and just like 4 guards versus 4 guards, like let the best guards win. That's what I want to see in the national championship. San Diego State's boring as hell.
Boring as hell.
They're so bad.
Bro, they shouldn't even made it out.
I think there's such an easy matchup for Miami, though. Like, I think Miami smokes.
I honestly think they are for FAU, too, because all the guards.
That's what I'm going for.
Like, that's FAU, as Jerome Tang would say, they really do have like a lot of dudes. Not necessarily dudes that are like NBA players, but they've got dudes that like want the fucking ball and want to go score.
Well, I'm curious you guys' opinion on something. So like, but when NIL was first created, so when it was happening, I was going to West Virginia for my master's in sports management. So I got kind of like an inside look into like, kind of like
I'm not gonna lie. You just low-key flex the shit out of that.
Oh, God. That was a preposterous boast.
Like, I was just saying, like, I got, like, an inside look as to, like, how, the athletic department was kind of, like, ramping up for it. Obviously, a smaller scale because they don't spend no money. But I think this Final Four is, like, the perfect, like, encapsulation of what NIL brings. And I think everyone thought, like, oh, you're just going to buy a team and make the Final Four. And I was always saying, like, no, like, I think NIL is actually really good for the smaller schools because more often than not, you're going to buy a team and that kid that's making $1 million is not really going to fucking care. Or, the kid that makes $2-3 million is not really going to care. That NBA player is definitely not going to care. We've been seeing that for 20 years, right? Like, you can't win with one and dones. And what I think teams are going to now learn is you can't necessarily win with NIL. So it's like, I think this is like perfect for the sport, perfect for like, if you're a true college basketball fan, I think it's perfect for what the future of the sport will bring. But I do agree. And I do understand that it's a down year, but like, I would challenge anyone like that, like really doesn't like this Final Four to look at the last 10 Final Fours. And I promise you, like a few of them are not that far off this.
Let me take a step further with your question. So you say NIL is good for college basketball for the viewers and anybody that maybe had this question I'm going to ask for them. What do you think about the transfer portal? Is that good for college basketball or is that diminishing college basketball?
So I think it's good for the landscape of college basketball. In the next like 5 to 10 years, I think it'll be really good for college basketball. But what I do think it hurts is like if you're a high school player, right? Like, we will never see the impact the transfer portal has on like certain kids' lives, but like I do think it's gonna, in a very negative way, alter a lot of kids' livelihood.
I will say, sorry, JK, but if y'all ever watched Last Chance U on Netflix, the basketball series, they kind of dipped into that because obviously it's a JUCO, and they were saying the coach was on there talking about how it's hard to get the kids into schools because of the transfer portal. Because it's like you go from, I think they were saying you go from one NIL to switch a school, and then like regular transfer portal people, and then maybe high school stars, and then JUCO type stuff. Yeah. I think that's what he was basing it off of too. So,
well, what you're gonna learn and see is like, and I do think this benefits college basketball in the long run, but like, some people see the negative. I mean, y'all are UNC fans. Like 3-4 years ago, Baycott goes to Europe, right?
Yep.
RJ Davis goes to Europe. Caleb Love goes to Europe. Now they're just going to stay in college for an extra year. Like that extra year eligibility, the ability to like test the market in terms of how much money you can make, like et cetera. It's going to make people stay. And I think that's kind of like what I meant by like teams are going to learn like NIL really does benefit the smart schools. Because look at all these teams, bro. San Diego State, bunch of seniors. Miami, bunch of seniors. UConn, not so much, but like that, like I said, that's closer to a blue blood than any of these other teams. And obviously FAU has a ton of seniors. So it's like, I think the ability of other people to stay with NIL is going to benefit the game in the long run for sure.
No, I see. My thing is like, first off, I'm curious to see. I'm ready to see it in its truest form when this extra year of eligibility like is not there. Like I'm ready to see it like that. But what I think makes it interesting is we get to kind of really see like who the real good coaches are. Because okay, you can bring in the highest, you can bring in the 2 highest rated transfers. You can bring in a guy because you paid him $800K, but as a coach, can you make that team mesh? Because, like, for example, Pete Nance comes in. They just didn't use him right. UNC never really figured it out. The end, they kind of did a little bit, but it was too late. Then you look at what Larinaga did. Bro, he fit in, like, Nigel fit in perfectly. It's impressive. Like, at the end of the day, sure, you can say Blue Bloods might get the highest NIL guys, the highest transfers, but bro, they have to make it work. Like you can't just put a bunch of guys, especially 18 to 22-year-old guys, like they're not going to just work.
And that's why they bouncing.
Bro, it's anything. I say about the NBA all the time. Like I listen to people talking about like, oh, just Kyrie's going to go to Phoenix. Like I'm supposed to believe Kyrie's just going to fit in with Booker and KD. Like probably not. Probably not. You know what I mean? Like,
oh God.
Like I understand like a bunch of names on paper can sound phenomenal, but like, you're also like, what I like about what Miami did, and I just said how like they don't have depth, but the promises they made to dudes, they were able to keep. And I think when you look around at NIL, and I take Duke for an example, who had 10 of the 5 of the top 10 recruits, a lot of them dudes ain't even going lotto, which means that they made a bad decision and John Shire lied to them. And eventually, what I think NIL is going to bring to light is a lot of that type stuff. And I think it's going to make it a lot better for like the player and
the players. Okay.
Especially at a Duke or Kentucky, because you have to fulfill that promise if you're Shire. Because guess what? There's 5 more coming in next year that are probably better.
They're gonna bring back Roach. They're probably gonna bring back like 1 or 2 of them freshmen, and then they have the number 1 recruiting class again.
Duke, like literally, and I know this happens a lot every year, but Duke could easily be the preseason number 1 next year, like without question, because it's just gonna, especially with how this tournament's panned out. Like, there's not really, like, okay, let's just say FAU wins Cincinnati. They're not coming back the preseason number 1. They're not. They're gonna be like top 10, but they're not going to be the number 1. Also, speaking on the age thing, this is a stat courtesy of @GWizzy12. Saw him tweeted earlier. So shout out Greg Waddell. 15 of 35 of the combined players on the four Final Four teams playing rotations were acquired from the transfer portal. 8 of 20 starters were portalers, and this is crazy. The average age of every starter in the Final Four is 21.4 years old. Jordan Hawkins, Alex Caravan, and Wooga Poplar are the only starters in the Final Four that have been in college for less than 3 years.
Hey, I just want to go ahead and say, shout out G Wizzy for providing the knowledge and the take for that. That's I would have never known some shit like that if it wasn't for him. So shout out to him. And Deion, shout out to you because you just said it.
I didn't know none of those stats. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
that's how it goes, man.
I knew none of those stats, but like I mean, watching the team, you can see it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I fuck with G. I appreciate him providing those stats, but like, it's so clear on the court, and
it is.
I remember before the season, like obviously, like with G and Cart, like I see more of the Big Ten stuff than like I would have before, whether it's through them or like some of the other people like that they make content with. Yeah, everyone was clowning Izzo for only having 10 scholarship players. But I think that shit worked.
Yep.
Like when it was like, I understand he was an injury or two away from having to play walk-ons, but like, bro, like when it got down to the end of the season, him having 10 dudes with very defined roles, not having to look over their shoulder, that shit fucking matters. That shit matters. Like a player not having to worry about a player coming from behind him to take his spot, it's much easier for them to buy into a role.
Yep. Especially like, I don't know. I just think it's amazing. Like that's where I think it's great is there's really only two sides of the coin. You get a Michigan State type result or you get a UNC type result where 5 dudes enter the transfer portal as soon as the season ends because Hubert's a terrible coach and it wasn't handled properly.
So Puff went.
Which honestly, that was the biggest surprise to me though.
Puff went, which is crazy. Listen, when Cam Johnson's brother is entering the transfer portal, there's something going on.
Yeah.
So Puff.
Did Trimble enter?
No,
I don't
Trimble
think so.
stayed.
I'm glad about that. Thank you.
It was Puff, Dontrez Styles.
I don't know
who else.
He should have left. Just know Deion. He was what 4-star.
Yeah,
and got no burn.
That's what I think NIL is going to do for a lot of kids. They don't have to be the 4-star that goes to like UNC anymore.
That's great. So before we move on out of college, do 2 quick things. Before we make our predictions, just from each of y'all observing, who is y'all's one draft board climber from this tournament? I'll give you mine right away. It's Jordan Miller. I mean, I think he's going to be a top 30 pick now for real because of the size. Size, the ability to score, and the fact that he's doing it with 2 really elite scoring guards, and he's kind of doing it in a role. He's not doing it taking 20 shots. I don't know. I just like what I've seen from him. Maybe not top 30, but at worst, I think he's an early second rounder now.
I like him. He's just old.
He is old.
He's just old. He's what, like 23?
I think maybe 22.
That's a good question.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know enough about the draft board. Where's Isaiah Wong supposed to go?
Not high.
Like it should be him.
Yeah,
it should be.
That's
him.
A good answer.
You can't. He won't be my answer. I'll think of somebody here in a second. But you can't watch him play and tell me like, give me 3 reasons why Isaiah Wong shouldn't be like a lotto pick.
It's ridiculous.
He can pass, he can handle, he can create his own shot, and he can shoot the 3. And he's not small.
No, I think he's probably 6'3".
Yeah, he should probably already be in the league. I shouldn't even have my Miami bet.
There's so many guys like Tyrese Hunter, dog. Yeah. Jordan Hawkins has, I mean, he was already going to be like a top 25 guy, but he's probably a top 15 guy now.
Do they still have to be playing?
Yeah, I would say because mine was pretty much.
It could be anybody.
I was gonna go Keontae Johnson though. I was gonna go Keontae Johnson. Personally,
I don't hate that
because he really was about to die and came back. And on top of that, I mean, he bet on himself, bro. Went to Kansas State, had a great tournament. I mean,
he was 5-star recruit too, right?
Yeah, so like he was a dog before. You know what I'm saying? Almost died, came back, bet on himself, went to Kansas State, and bro, y'all know how it is, bro. Like people love stories. You know what I'm saying? The story alone could project him up. You know what I'm saying? So that's my guess. But I mean, he really did play great though, especially in the Michigan State game. So I guess that would be mine.
I'm gonna say Jerace Walker.
Oh, dude, he's so good.
I think he showcased a lot. Like during the season, he looked good. Don't get me wrong, but like he showcased a lot of like NBA stuff. I felt like that. There's a few passes he made that, like, granted, I don't think he'll make it in the league, but the fact that he can make them at this level is promising. You know what I mean? Like, I'd say him or Nick Smith from Arkansas.
The thing about Jerace Walker is he is a man of a freshman. That dude is fucking like he has an NBA body. Yeah. It honestly reminds me of like what people were saying last year. I mean, they're different players. I'm not comparing their play styles, but from a frame standpoint, like you could look at Jalen Duren and be like, that dude's a fucking NBA body. Like, yeah, they just have NBA bodies. I mean, I would honestly even make an argument for Marquise Noel because he went from probably not getting a chance to like.
Yeah, I was gonna go him. I just didn't know. I thought we was talking like NBA instead of like G League Ignite. You know what I'm saying?
I just looked at the draft board. I should have done that while y'all were talking, to be honest. That's on me. Bro, this is such an easy answer. Amari Bailey. What are we talking about?
Oh, yeah, that's a big one, too.
This is actually such an easy answer.
Jalen Clark being hurt was the best thing ever for his draft stock.
Yeah, that was such an easy answer. Like, he probably went from a guy that might stay for his sophomore year to, like, potential lotto pick overnight. Not that he needed to stay for his sophomore year, but a kid like that wasn't going to want to go late first.
Dude, oh man. When he hit that shot against Gonzaga, I know they didn't win the game, but like just the fact that he hit it, I'm like, bro, 95% of freshmen shit their pants when they shoot that shot.
Yeah.
Just like his mama got that dog in him.
Who do you think lost the most stock?
Oh God. Oh man.
I got an easy answer for this one.
Brandon Miller.
Yeah, it's the accomplice.
Brandon Miller,
the number one shooter.
He can't shoot. That's why he had to hand someone else the gun.
Nah, bro. What he did in this tournament.
If he was the one with the gun, nobody's getting charged with anything.
No. If he's the one with the gun, the only thing that's going to happen is he's going to have to pay some insurance on someone's crib.
Listen, I use this word a lot. Bro, you could call it sarcastic. Bro, he stinks. Like, bro, he stinks. Like,
nah, even if you want to say like, I could understand why someone would dispute that because like, yeah, he will probably still be a top 5 pick, but
yeah,
I better not hear shit about him over Scoot again.
No,
yeah, if you got the clip,
saying it last week.
If you got the clip, run it back. My face.
I mean, look, I was saying it last week before we got into this, and I noticed that man was motherfucking foof. I didn't know he was like that.
But I will agree with Deion on the draft thing though. Like, you most likely would take a wing over a guard. So I guess
that's facts. But not when they put up a Caleb Love-esque shooting performance.
Hey, don't mention his name around me. I might. Hey,
I understand taking the wing over the guard. Not that wing.
Do we think there's a conspiracy that he potentially played bad to get his way onto the Grizzlies so that he could accomplish John Morant and crimes?
There's got to be accomplishing Dylan Brooks.
Is that
John Morant a clean man?
I don't know, but I hope it is because Brandon Miller and John Morant on the same team, they gonna motherfucking change their jerseys to orange jumpsuits.
I'll tell you right now, I do not want the Grizzlies to get Brandon Miller. I don't care how many times I say that he stinks. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. Hey, it will really truly be a parade inside that city.
Oh God. Nah, bro.
I don't hate Brandon Miller yet. I don't want to have to. Like, I just think he stinks and should be in prison. Like, that's not hate. Those are facts.
Yeah, that's just like factual statements. Like, bro, honestly, probably I think Alabama goes as far as they did if he wasn't a sell with how he played.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, I don't see a ton of difference between him and Imani Bates. Like, bro, I don't.
Amani Bates.
I do not see it with Brandon Miller.
Yo,
I do.
Nah, bro. Am I the only one that thinks
so
that?
ugly.
Like, I'm not even trying to hate, but like the way he be dribbling, like, makes me want to throw up.
Yeah, bro, I do. I'm telling you, I do not see it.
He looks like he's finna fall.
With all due respect to
Amani
him,
Bates, though.
Hey, bro.
The next KD. That's what they said.
Oh God, bro.
Well, then they call Brandon Miller the next KD. He can't even shoot.
Oh,
Hey. Amani Bates, low key, did play himself into getting drafted because he had a couple 30 pieces this year.
Bro, 3 years from now, we're gonna have to look back on it. The Patrick Baldwin Jr. versus like Brandon Miller thing, like I'm not gonna say which way, but it's gonna be closer than we think. I'm not gonna say for good or bad, but bro, I don't see it.
I agree. And we'll just go ahead and transition from draft into the actual NBA. Just a couple things. Do we want to just wait? Because I'm sure one of our most hated is Kyrie Irving. It just has to be.
I'm confused why we hating Kyrie though.
Because he ruined basketball for Luka. It's a direct quote.
I mean, we're like, hey,
I'm fucking verbatim.
Hey, bro, he literally said, "I'm not having fun playing basketball." What changed?
Especially,
psycho.
Let's not even talk about the fact that today, this motherfucker Luka dropped like 40, 12, and 8, and they lost to a team that is starting Steve Mackay, Luke, and Dennis Smith Jr.
Did y'all watch that game?
Embarrassing.
Dennis Smith hit that dagger though.
Bro, there was a few things like they did in that game, and I always thought like putting a point guard next to Luka is not the way to do it. And if you like, there's a couple things the Hornets did, and I just couldn't have been more right about my thought process on that. I just couldn't have been more right.
You just cannot lose to Steve Mackay, Luke. I'm sorry,
bro. They both need the ball in their hands. So like one has it. It reminds me of Russ and KD, where like KD would have the ball and Russ would just stand there. Russ would have the ball, and KD would just stand there.
Yeah, and it's different because that's always been my concern is Luka is nice as hell. And obviously I'm not going to necessarily put the blame on him because of Kyrie's past. However,
I will.
There is a difference when we're talking about a guy who's arguably going to finish his career with like the highest usage rate ever. And like at a certain point, bro, like
I put my blame on him.
You got to take it down a few notches. You just do.
So I don't think he does.
Yeah, he not though. Bro, like it's not all Kyrie, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, I guess we can blame it on Kyrie, but fuck that. Hold on, what happened? We good? My bad. And he locked in quick.
Yeah, he was like, shit, let me pull up something, bro.
I was trying to pull up the stats. Got a little ad.
No, like my thing is like I just think Luka does like if he wants to win a ring, I think he does have to take the ball out of his hands just a little more. I'm not saying like crazy, but like bro, his usage rate is like what, fucking 37% or some shit.
Outrageous.
Yeah, I was trying to find out what I was looking up, and I closed it that way we don't get flagged on the podcast. But
no free promo.
Huh?
Said no free promo.
No free promo. I also don't want this shit to get, what's that shit? The video rights or whatever. But anyway, I was trying to find his usage rate since Kyrie got there. I know they're 6 and 9 together, like when both are on the court. But I don't think Luka has to change shit. I think, bro, if you go into someone else's team, not everybody gonna be Steph. Not everybody gonna be Ron. Like you have to. You're going to Luka's team.
See, I think that's really the root of Kyrie's issues, though. Is the reason he quote unquote left Cleveland in the first place was because he wanted his own team. He went to Boston. He figured out quickly that was going to be Tatum's team. So he was like, "Well, shit, I got to go somewhere else." Then he goes to the Nets because him and KD are best friends. And then he's like, well, shit, KD said this was going to be my team, but this is really KD's team. It's just like, bro, like.
I don't think he wants his own team anymore. For what it's worth.
See, but
I think that's why he left Boston.
I think that he tells himself he doesn't want his own team, but he still has the mentality of someone who wants their own team, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, that's the issue is he's selfish. Like it's not anything like he's a phenomenal basketball player. It has nothing to do with on the court. He's a selfish douchebag. It is what it is.
I also just couldn't agree more about the fit. I mean, the way that Luka Doncic gets his two is an elite scoring and defending wing. That's like what you put beside Luka.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they traded their whole defense, bro. They traded the whole camp for this dude.
If Kyrie was shooting better, I think it'd be different. Like you can trap Luka at the top, and because Kyrie's not shooting that well, like I mean, that's all the Hornets did. They just trapped him, and then he would swing it to Kyrie, and Kyrie didn't really have nothing he could do with the ball.
Yeah, it's
unfortunate over there. It's good it's good for us though.
This is
I ain't played it.
This is the next thing to talk about. So these playoff races are nutty in different ways.
Wait, can I say one more thing? Can I say one more thing on Kyrie? I want everyone out there to know that I knew the moment he didn't play basketball because of the vaccine that he would never accomplish anything in life. And I want everyone to know that maybe I agreed with his stance. However, if someone came up to me and said, OnlyHaters will be the #1 podcast in the world if you get this shot, I'm going to get the shot. You know what I mean? Like, that is the difference. Like, they were the favorites to win the championship. He chose not to play. Like, I don't disagree with his stance necessarily. I personally am vaccinated. But, like, clearly, if you look at the laws that have happened since, like, he was correct. Congrats, Kyrie. You won. But you know what you didn't win, douchebag? An NBA championship. You could have won both.
And yeah, see, that's my thing is like, as a vaccinated person, like, bro, I did that shit without any bread on the line.
Yeah.
Like, bro, we talking millions and we talking playing with Kevin Durant and James Harden. Like, bro, did y'all see the stat where Michael, bro, that shit?
Crazy.
What was the exact stat?
So Cam, Mikel, and who's Dorian Finney-Smith?
Yep.
No, Dinwiddie. My bad.
Dinwiddie.
Prior to today, I know they played today. I don't know what it was. They played 366 minutes together on the Nets. Harden, Kyrie, and KD played 365.
Oh my god,
that's comedic,
bro.
That's terrible.
At every turn, Kyrie wasn't there. Like Harden played on a strained hamstring, like a grade 2 strained hamstring in that Bucks series. Kyrie no show. I understand he had a sprained ankle, but like, if you ask me which one I think you could play on, I would assume it's the sprained fucking ankle.
Yep.
And then he doesn't show up the next season. And then last playoffs, they get swept, right? By y'all? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
With no Ben Simmons. And then this year, bro, like dead ass, the world was going to be in Kyrie's hand. Stay in Brooklyn. KD's on the way back. Keep playing the way you're playing. You got them to the 4 seed. KD comes back. You probably rise the ranks. They're playing really good. Like dead
KD was like the front runner for MVP at that time.
Yeah. Bro, they were playing really good. And you demand a trade overnight. You turned down $194 million. You demand a trade overnight. You lost everything, my guy. Congrats.
Yep. It's literally like at this point, if he hasn't woken up to what the reality is, he's just never going to. And we just kind of have to accept that that's just who he is as a locker room guy. Not as a player, because as a player, he's
fantastic.
He's great. But as a locker room guy, like, bro, P, I'm going to just be honest with you. Like, I would be hoping and praying that he does not become a Los Angeles Laker.
They already said they're not in on that.
Yeah, that means they are. By the way, that means they've been talking to him all week.
Yep. Smoke screen. They smoke screen in Deion.
Kyrie getting full 8 hours of sleep. He know he can go to LA.
So this is where it gets kind of nuts. So the Eastern Conference playoff race is nutty at the top. The Western Conference is nutty in that 6 to 10 spot. Like, the way teams are bouncing is crazy.
They out the playoffs now, right? Mid-re in them?
Yeah, they are. They're officially a game out. Which
they were 11 for a minute.
To be fair, let me see it, because they're not gonna make a run, but damn, the Thunder are fun to watch.
I've done a complete 360 on Kyrie. I defended him for the longest. I still think that suspension for what he did this year was crazy.
Yeah.
I was even on his side demanding a trade. Like, if you felt disrespected, like, Bro, now it's him. Like third team in a row, fourth if you want to count Cleveland. I personally don't because of 2016, and like to this day, bro. I know we about to talk about it. I was getting full 8 hours of sleep when it came to Braun. Kyrie was keeping me up at night in them last couple games. So, but his third straight team. If my son Luka says he's not having fun playing basketball, I gotta take Luka's side, bro.
Especially with what we've seen from Luka in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
That's not a guy that it'd be easy to suck the life out of when it comes to playing basketball.
If you thought you were going to put some fucking hippie moron in a locker room with a real Serbian and things would go okay, yeah. I promise you he came in with one of them candles waving it around and Luka took it.
Yeah, something like that.
His incense, bro.
He tried to do that incense bullshit. Luka said, "Nah, we're not doing that one in here, pimp."
I mean,
I can't believe that though. He sounded like Odell in 2018.
And Luka playing that bullshit, bro. Luka Hooper, show up and hoop, and he not one of them like KD hoopers where he claims to be a hooper because he don't want to talk to nobody about like the decisions he's made. He's a hooper.
Yeah, no, he is. I'm looking at the Western Conference playoff picture though. Like, I don't know. I mean, the Warriors 100% in. The Lakers are gonna 100% be in my opinion. I honestly think the Timberwolves are 100% gonna be in. Bro, if the Pelicans had Zion, they'd be a lock too. But the Thunder, the Mavericks, the fact that the Jazz are still right there, I want the Thunder to get in over any of those three because Shea is so fun. I don't remember if it's Shea or Sha.
I call him Sha. But let me ask you something. Why this man Chat talking about some free 7? What he got going on? He good? He cleared? What's up with him?
What he said?
He tweeted out.
7.
He said free 7. He posted a picture of him drilling basketball on the sidelines like some free 7. What's up with him? Oh.
Listen, the only 7 he needs to get for free is 7-Up. He needs to gain some weight.
Bruh, I will say though, man, like
well,
the Thunder are rebuilding properly. Like SGA is a stud. Jalen Williams is like fucking steal of the draft. Giddey is a guy who can fit with anyone. Chet, Luke Dort, they got a million first rounders still. Like
I'll say JK, bro, they got 31st.
Bro, you know what's crazy? I think
can't mess them all up.
They only have 1 next year, but they have 4 the year after that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think it's the year after that. Yo, wait. Is the year after that the Bronny draft or nah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And listen, bro, I don't care. He does need to gain weight, but like Chet will be nice regardless if he 195 pounds or not.
Bro, listen, he's 1B light. Like we can say what we want. Like he's 1B light, but in regards to them rebuilding the right way, like I don't want to give them too much credit just yet. Like they've done what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And they do deserve credit for that. They haven't rushed in any manner. They've made the right picks, which is, obviously the first step. But it's kind of like when we were talking about the Panthers, like they did what they're supposed to do this offseason. When we get into like the stuff you're not supposed to do, that's what separates like contenders from like other
where it gets scary for OKC to me is when we start getting into the contract years for all these guys, because how did they handle that with Russ, KD, and Harden? Not very well.
Hey, listen, not to get on my host bag, but you want to talk about some contract years, JK. Hey, it ain't all sunshine and rainbows in Boston.
Hey, listen, Jalen getting that motherfucking bag. If he make all NBA, I promise you.
The problem is it ain't gonna be from y'all.
Nah, it can be.
Hey, he might as well have left.
I mean,
how much he get for all NBA? 230 M's?
Bro, so if he makes all NBA, he gets 285. If he doesn't, he gets like 160, bro.
Nah,
someone would have to see me.
Nah, like, bro, I promise you, like, even if they lose the whole roster, like, they're gonna keep Tatum and Brown.
It don't sound like he want to stay. I understand y'all want him to stay, but
he tell you to cite your sources.
I would like to say per what reports.
His interview.
Which one?
The one he did like earlier in the week where he was like, he said something like, talking about, first off, he called the fans racist.
I mean, that's true though. We know basketball.
I don't know if you want to defend yourself and get ahead of the allegations.
Listen, hey, the fans, not all of them though. You know what I'm saying?
But
even though P was thinking I was over here saying the N word, talking about Miami's coach.
It sounds like Jaylen Brown think you might be saying it too. But...
It just came off a little. It came off swift. You know what I'm saying? I didn't.
Listen,
I had my head down.
The thing is though, like, what the fuck is Jaylen gonna do? Because like he is nice, but where's he gonna go that can actually pay him? Where?
Atlanta.
I did hear something about Atlanta, which is funny.
That shit is not gonna work just because he's from Atlanta.
Listen, bro. He the one that started the rumors. You acting like people are
listen.
Like people are making shit
but
up.
Who
started?
But
it.
who the? Nah, because he didn't directly say it though. It'd be different.
Hey, it was
indirect.
But
listen,
you know what I'm saying?
Listen. Nobody in the league wants to play with Trae Young, bro.
Ain't nobody say Trae Young gonna be there.
Like, bro.
Ain't nobody say all that.
But no, see, Jalen's in a weird spot because he'll never be good enough to be the best player on a championship team. He's a number 2 guy.
We don't. I mean, he was the best player in the finals over there.
I mean, yeah, that's facts. But listen, at the end of the day,
Paul Pierce is doing interviews. Paul Pierce is doing interviews, being asked about it. You acted like we made it up. Jaylen Brown,
but see, this is the thing. You're not a Celtics fan. How many years has this been a thing? 5.
Or JB wanted to leave.
4. It's been a thing for like at least 3 years.
I wonder why.
You tell me JB's wanted to leave for 4 years?
No, that's just been the rumor for 4 years.
Maybe
always is like that.
Nah, I wonder why he want to leave because he always in a trade rumor for somebody else. Yeah. That's probably why he want to leave.
Listen, to what it sounded like, I'm gonna be honest. Like this was my interpretation of what he was saying. It sounds like Tatum wanted the KD trade. Like, and
see, the Tatum quote I saw was that
Tatum is not gonna say. Listen, Tatum's not gonna say that he wanted the KD trade. But my takeaway from what JB was saying was like maybe the Nets were the ones that said no.
But is there a player in the league that wouldn't want KD over Jaylen Brown?
I agree. Tatum should have wanted the trade to go through. Now you deal with what happens when your best player doesn't want to play with the other guy necessarily.
I mean, I do think it's one of those things where I think the playoff run does like depend. Like, I think it dictates a lot because if they actually are able to win a championship, the likelihood of him coming back probably increases tenfold. But if they fall short again, I mean, that'd be his 5th Eastern Conference Finals and Tatum's 4th. Like, yeah, I could definitely see him being like, all right, we can't get the job done. Like, I got to get out of here.
He said verbatim, Michael Jordan retired a wizard. It's his words.
He was passively aggressively saying, I'm out.
They said, are you going to be in Boston long term? I don't know.
Like, listen.
Like, what? But, like, here's my thing. Like, this is
but we can't go off words because Mr. Irving said he's staying in Boston forever.
I get it. But here's the difference. Like, Kyrie was prompted. You know what I'm saying? My issue with what Jaylen Brown did is it was unprompted. Jaylen Brown had no business doing this interview.
I mean, I guess we'll just see what happens. I mean, me personally, like, I just don't, even if I wasn't a Celtics fan, like, I just feel like him and Tatum have a very close relationship compared to a lot of tandems. But, I mean,
it don't sound like it.
it
don't sound like it.
Outside of, like, the Warriors and maybe Bron and AD, like.
Listen. When JB said Tatum and KD work out together in the summer, that sounded like a scorned ex-girlfriend.
Listen, that is fine. We'll go 1 year without JB, and then I guess we'll wait till Mr. Durant is a free agent, and then he can come on over.
4 years.
We'll call David Ortiz and Tom Brady up again.
I mean, listen, they've had a couple chances to swing for the fences on KD.
But see, that's the thing, though, is like, to be honest here, though, looking at the deal they took, There's no way the Nets said no to a deal with Jaylen Brown in it. Like, there's just no way.
So I think they did in the summer. I think if the Celtics offered them the same deal in February, I think they said yes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean,
at that point, I feel like JB was probably off the table, like from a Boston perspective, but the damage that was done in the summer to JB's already done. You know what I mean?
I think the play this year definitely will dictate a lot of it, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Like, if they make another finals run, I think his chances of staying will increase. But like, if they don't, like if they get bounced in the second round or they lose to the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals, he's definitely out, like 100%. Because why would he want to stay? All right. Right before we get into most hated, I won't be partaking. I will only be hosting. You guys are going to alternate, and you cannot have the same person. So it's going to make it a little more challenging. But this will be the Deion and Pierre top 5 white people draft. So I don't know how y'all want to decide who goes first.
He can go first.
All right, so you can go first, and we'll go. Do y'all want to snake it, or do y'all want to go like back and forth?
We can just go back and forth.
All right, back and forth. So Pierre on the clock, first overall pick. Who the first white man you taking, or woman? Could be a woman.
I'm gonna go the first overall pick of my white man draft. I'm gonna take JK. I'm gonna take JK.
The glazing is crazy.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta take JK. My man be holding it down. He be doing everything, editing, all that, coming up with topics. My man's really like that, bro. For real. He really be out here in the field. And I just seen this man flexed up with his John on IG, holding the cakes, all that.
Hey, bro.
White man in the league,
it's not even my birthday.
Yeah,
but you want to lick the icing off, you know what I'm saying?
All right. Okay. D-Hill?
Easy. Number 1 white boy in my ranking since the first ones came out 2 years ago, Greg Waddell.
Yep. See, like, let me look. I'll put it to you like this: they haven't known each other like that long, like me and you have. But like what I am to you is Greg to Deion, basically.
Listen,
for sure.
G and I have never met in person, but we've been through wars together. Like one of the greater bonding experiences I've ever had with a human being is when him and I were betting the U.S. Open last year, just up till the fucking 1 a.m. screaming "come on" at our phones, every point like we're in the game.
A real brotherhood right there.
Nah, that's my dog.
There's another reason though. Greg and Deion are notorious for meat riding each other's teams. So like,
well, we bet together a lot.
They like, bruh, let me you'll see when the NBA playoffs start. Greg is a motherfucking Detroit Pistons fan, but he a motherfucking warrior during the playoffs.
Listen, he's a Jordan Poole guy. He called me in March and he goes, like, are the Warriors going to win it all? And I said, I've been saying they're going to win it all the whole time. And he's like, do you think too much Jordan Poole is like not good for the team? It was at Michigan. I'm like, brother, too much JP for this team is very good. And I was like, lock in. Like, I'm like, trust me, this is a different JP. It was a different JP.
It was a different JP.
All right, P, what you got at number 2?
Number 2. I'm gonna go Paul Walker, bro. Hey, Paul Walker.
I guess so. We don't have any rules on if them being alive or not.
No, they can be dead.
They can be dead. Nobody can be asking. You know what I'm saying? Paul. Hey, look. When the first Fast and Furious dropped, when I was a kid, we was standing Paul Walker, man. The Supra, all that. Don't forget, he was coming out with Tyrese. Don't forget about it, cuz he thought he was one of us.
Hey,
Paul Walker right over
but speaking of that, we do got to establish one rule for Deion because I know he gonna do this shit. Klay Thompson is not white.
He plays like it. Play like it.
Bro, every time I'm done seeing Deion's rankings, Klay in the top 3.
He played like it. Him and Steph play like they're white. They stop in the playoffs, but I wish they did it in the regular season too. My number 2 is easy. Coach L, you feel me? Shout out to the U.
Okay.
2 more.
Greg might be in trouble if Coach L win that natty.
No, he's Miami guy now. We talked earlier. He's Miami guy.
Miami guy for real.
All right.
We gonna continue to glaze. Hey, my lady. You know what I'm saying? My lady.
That's fair.
Top tier Caucasian person. Top tier, you know what I'm saying? That had my back through it all. You know what I'm saying? So definitely my lady. Yeah, on my list, of course.
Number 3, easy one. He normally sits at number 2, Luka Doncic. That white boy is special.
I'll say you his autograph.
Bro, he is special. Send it to me. He is special. He also opened up the world. Like I see the light of day when it comes to Kyrie now, so I appreciate him for last night.
All right. Number 4, Austin Reeves. Quit playing with my guy. Quit playing with my boy Top. Quit playing with my boy Top.
Bro said he stinks. That man been hooping for about 2 weeks, though.
Hey, listen. Now, when I get the AR jersey and wear it on the you know what I'm saying, on the OnlyHaters pod, don't say nothing. AR is in my top. Since All-Star break, I've been on, you know what I'm saying? I've been going crazy over my guy, man. It's been coming into fruition. So, Austin Reeves, I appreciate you and your services. Don't start that selling, though. You can be most hated next week, for real.
I mean, he sold today.
Hey, LeBron come back. AD like he don't know how to play basketball. Shit crazy. Like shit be crazy.
Yeah, that happens a lot. People don't realize like just because a dude balls out without the star player, like they think he just gonna continue doing that. Like roles matter. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
My number 4, easy money, Vince McMahon. That boy is special. That's a demon.
That boy has beat every allegation possible.
That boy is special. Bro, that's because he's uncancelable. He just is.
Yeah, he just do.
He don't care.
He said the N-word on national TV, so he cannot be canceled at all.
That's one of the greatest videos of all time.
So, but
that video's hilarious.
Who else was in that video? Is my number 5.
Oh, Cena.
John Cena. WrestleMania coming back around the corner. We about to drop that thing April 1st. They were saying John Cena has a match. Unfortunately, he probably gonna lose because you know he
Austin Theory.
Yeah, he probably gonna put him over. John Cena doing his good boy act, but bro, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. John Cena got a platinum album. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it's one of the best tracks. You know what I'm saying? On that motherfucker. So shout out John Cena, been holding it down since my childhood and still doing it to this. Hey, I wish I could get a Twitter follow from him though. See, he follow a lot of people. Wish I can get one, but we'll see.
My number 5. Stuck between a couple guys. Like the rankings shift a little bit this week. We had a couple soccer exits that I had to deal with, but I think I'm gonna stick with my son Pedri. I don't know if y'all count Spanish people as white.
Yeah, we'll count him because he is him.
He's special.
He's so good.
He's special. I was stuck between him and Riff Raff for number 5.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, so I'm gonna be generous. Y'all both get an honorable mention pick.
Oh yes, sir. Appreciate you.
It's got to be a dude.
It don't have to be. It's just white people.
I said my.
Oh, then okay. Let me go back. So my 5 then, if it don't, I forgot you took your girl, Pete. That's on me. My 5th then is a double entendre. Give me the Cavender twins. Special.
They was not so special in that game tonight, but I get what you said.
Hey, without saying too much, you know what I'm saying?
Special.
Got that dog in them.
Special.
They got that NIL in them.
Hey, got that. Hey, what was they about to get suspended for? People were talking about.
They went to dinner with John Ruiz, who's the booster that spent like 7 M's on both hoop teams.
Is that not allowed or something? What's going on?
They weren't allowed to do it prior to being at the school. So the reason they were about to get suspended is it looked like, and I think they beat the allegations. Maybe the university didn't, but I know they did individually. It seemed like he paid them to go to dinner, and then that's why they went to the university.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if they beat the allegations, that's just more dog. More dog to them. Honorable mention. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. Let me go. Joey Swole, bro. Joey Swole.
He's a legend.
He's
a dude that's famous on TikTok, and he's just big, man. Like he's jacked. Yeah, and he quotes like people who bully people in the gym or like make fun of people, and he basically quotes them and like roasts the hell out of them, and it's like we need to be positive in the gym type shit.
Yeah, he like
basically trying to change.
He be saying do better. He be calling out the The people in the gym that just think they hard and they be like, this guy, or if somebody walking by, this pervert staring at me, and he's like, bro, ain't nobody staring at you, my boy.
Yeah, like
you know what you're doing. Go by your day. Be better. So shout out
God.
Joey Swole, man, for sure.
My honorable mention's pretty easy. Caitlin Clark.
Bucket.
She is a bucket, bro.
Oh, that ain't fair, bro. Hold on. Run it back. Sabrina.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you stand Sabrina Ionescu.
Dog. My mama dog. I swear to God. And I can't wait for her and Brianna Stewart to tear shit the fuck up on God.
She's so like, I used to fuck with her. I have her Oregon jersey.
I do too. Oh God.
Like on God, I used to fuck.
We not surprised you got it, P.
She be in the.
My bad.
She was in college too long, bro. Like, I feel like I've already watched her play her best basketball. Like I ain't, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I got her in a Taurasi jersey, but I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I had to drop her down on the list. She just got married and shit. So
Who, Taurasi?
Nah, Sabrina. She just got married and shit.
Who she get married to?
He played in the NFL though, so he played for the Huh?
Are you thinking of Darren Waller and Kelsey Plum?
Nah, Sabrina got married to an NFL player.
Did WNBA players just linking with the NFL guys now?
On God, yeah, she married an offensive lineman. But they
I
was
knew
dating
Darren Waller and
they was dating at Oregon. On God.
Is Kelsey Plum white? Because if so, I can't believe she not in Deion's top 5.
I don't really.
Especially after I saw the Kelsey Plum is bae tweet.
Whoa, yeah, you not beating them allegations. Don't let me get a hold of that.
Nah, I ain't fucked with her since I think it was like a month or two ago. She put that dude on blast for trying to hit on her. I'm like, bro, like you.
Yeah.
I hate shit like that. Like, hit your group chat, like you and your friends laugh it off, like if you want to, but like you just wanted attention.
Yeah.
Like you wanted his attention. Like I don't fuck with that because she got a whole dude, and like she was clearly cool with his attention, and then she wanted other folks' attention too. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have been cut that off and just told your.
Why she do that? She was the same person that tweeted, where can I find a good man in Las Vegas? So
apparently the Raiders. Probably a rehab facility as well. I'm sorry, that was
yeah. I didn't like that one, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't like that one. I feel like though she was on her high horse there, just wanted to chip and whatnot, so she was feeling herself. But I didn't like that.
All right, I'm gonna be honest. I can't believe neither one of y'all had Adam Sandler on the list.
Yuck.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. Fuck all that.
Mid.
Like I fought with Adam Sandler, but fuck all that. He not beating Cena. On God.
Nah, so, P, I'm surprised you ain't have Jimmer Fredette on your shit. You obsessed with that man.
I do fought with Jimmer Fredette crazy though, but I ain't heard, bro. He like the Avatar, bro. I have not heard from this man in years. Where is he at?
The song his brother made for him, the rap song his brother made when he was at BYU, that shit slaps.
Nah. I appreciate you saying that. We're going to lead into my most hated with rap videos right quick. I got 3 of these bitches. Number 1, we're going to start it off fresh. Steph Curry on that I Love College remix, most hated. That shit is unwatchable. That shit is terrible. Listen, him and then, I don't know. I just came up on Facebook. That's the only reason I had to say it. That shit really not, that I really don't hate it. I think it's kind of funny, to be honest with you. The way the girl walked by him and he's talking to his boy.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a rapper.
That shit funny.
I don't even know why he did that shit.
Kyrie Irving for obvious fucking reasons. I mean, I'm just sick of the dude. I mean, I don't even really have much to say. I'm just sick of the antics. I really wish he would change and just hoop, but we know that's never going to happen. He's a locker room cancer, and he's a cancer that ain't getting chemotherapy, so he's going to stay that way. It's sad. The third one, the NCAA officiating crews. These shits are the worst things I have ever seen. It is some of the most egregious screw-ups I have ever seen in my life. Like, I was already pissed about how bad the officiating had been, but how quickly they got Drew Timme in foul trouble really solidified it for me. And I don't know. It's all tournament. Every single day, there has been at least 2 games that have just been horribly officiated. And yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to say NBA officiating is perfect, but it's just like the players. There's levels to this shit. These NCAA refs are really fucking bad. I mean, that's just all there is to it. Deion, what you got?
So for me, and I'm kind of glad we didn't talk about this because I can use it as my most hated. It's like this generation of hoop fans, like
hey.
Go ahead. I get what Chalmers said was disrespectful because it's Braun, but I do think it's true. Like I do think like the night before, like I don't think anyone's tripping off playing Braun. Now, once that ball's tipped and he starts coming downhill, it's a different game. Like both can be true. He might be the most scariest dude on the court to ever play the game. But like I think back to like, bro, like Shane Battier wrote a whole book about Kobe Bryant. Like that's weird. First off, weird. But like second off, like that's the fear that Kobe put in dudes. You know what I mean? The Pat Bev quote about Steph, where he's like, "Yo, if I play CP3, I'm going out the night before, having wine, blah blah blah. I play Steph, I'm in bed at 7. You know what I mean? I'm getting my pregame nap. I'm doing these different things. Like you don't hear people talking about Braun that way. So like both can be true. If not the greatest player of all time, he's easily second. So once that ball tips, you don't want to play against Braun, but like I think the night before, a lot of dudes are getting a full 8 hours.
So what's up with them? What's up with the modern NBA hoops fans? Like what you hating it for? What you getting?
Oh, because they all mad about the quote, acting like it's like the worst thing to ever be said about someone. You know what I mean? Like, and I was just gonna categorize Braun sexuals. Like, if we recorded this 3 days ago, I would have just said it was y'all. But like now, I think it's everybody. Like I'm
gonna be honest. Oh, go ahead. I would say, but me personally, I really didn't care about it like that because I was thinking like, bro, it's Mario Chalmers. Like he on a podcast and Braun on the Lakers doing his thing. Like just set the shit to the side. At the end of the day, at another time, Mario, he won you some chips. I mean, it's a team thing. Everybody was a part of the chips, but like, bro, you play with him. But also, number 3, I'm not in the fucking league. So I don't know if motherfucker's scared of him or not. Like, I really don't care. I don't gotta play the motherfucker.
Listen, I don't give a fuck how many Kobe stories or Kurt. At the end of the day, bro, all of that shit, none of it is 100% true. They be fabricating all the stories they fucking tell anyways. Like, bro, if you in the league, there's one way to get to the league, and that's fear nobody. That's the only way you get into the league.
Yeah.
And
kill or be killed.
Like,
but at the same time, but you get to that point though, like so many people are telling these stories, you gotta kind of believe.
I think people feared being Kobe's teammate more than they feared playing against him because he was so fucking.
He was a killer though. He was fierce. I give him that.
I just think like I remember different time periods, right? But like in the off season, people were obsessed with catching Kobe. You know what I mean? Like players would go on what ESPN, Fox, I don't know what the hell they went on back then. I can't remember, but like you know what I mean? Like it's like and they would just talk about Kobe. Just talk about Kobe. You know what I mean? And like nowadays, the whole off season, they talking about Steph. Like I just don't see that level of attention with Braun. I ain't saying they're scared, like they're not scared of him. I don't think they're scared of him personally, but like how would I know? I'm not out there. But like you just don't see that level of attention to him that you would think the second, if not greatest player of all time would get.
And no, I'll play devil's advocate to the people on Twitter who are so pissed about the quote, like, because I'll tie it into what Gilbert Arenas said, which was like, I'm not fearing someone that is going for 29, 9, and 9 as much as I'm fearing. Like, that's not really disrespect as much as it's saying, like, you don't have to, like, that's not Braun's game. Braun's game is not go score 60. Like, his game is.
He doesn't suck the soul out of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but he doesn't. He just doesn't. Yeah. Like he still has 4 rings. Like he still, you know what I mean? Like he still does his thing, but like he doesn't ever like. I don't know. He just doesn't. He doesn't suck the soul out of you. He doesn't. I don't know. We talked about last week. He doesn't really ruin the franchise.
As a hooper, to me, like it's cool to be feared. Like you know what I'm saying. I feel like it'd be a cool thing, but like at the same time, I would rather you come in there and be like, oh, okay, I'm playing Braun. Like, it's like, you know what you're going to get when you play Braun. You obviously know what you're going to get, but it's like the fact that he's able to do it damn near every time and keep doing it. It's like, bro, fuck, if you fear me, I'm going to do what I got to do anyway. Like,
hey listen, all it is. It ain't the worst thing. Like, bro,
Yeah.
I mean, you hear like Warriors announcers, national TV announcers talk about it every night. Like the Warriors get your best punch. Why? Because you went to bed at 8 because you know you're playing Steph the next night. I'd rather they go out. Like I'd rather a team start slow against us.
Yeah.
Hey.
I mean, it's not the worst quote in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's why I didn't really go on my Twitter rant. I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like off initial listen, you're like, he hating, but it's like whatever. Like it is what it is. Like you gonna hear stories all the time, and I'm sure there's a couple guys that probably fear Bron. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, end of the day, bro, who the fuck, like,
bro? It's also like you said, it's Mario Chalmers, bro. Like he's gonna say some shit to put his name in the news. He's trying to be relevant. Like
it is what it is.
But that was why I hated the quote, P. It's what you just said. Like the quote ain't that bad.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's whatever.
That's why modern NBA fans were my most hate, because they talked about it for a week. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
The quote wasn't that bad.
Hey, I ain't gonna chill on Gilbert though, because this man Bron did tap you on the shoulder at the free throw line and say, "Hey, you missed this shit. We gaming your ass," and you did. You got game. So there's some stories for your ass too.
What's crazy is Gilbert actually got like the soul sucked out of him by Bron. Like Mario Chalmers played on like Bron's team for 4 years, where like truly, I think everyone wanted to kill Bron in the Heat. So like maybe in that 4-year span, everything he said was true. That doesn't mean it was true for the whole 20, but that 4-year span, it definitely was. Bro, he ruined Gilbert's career. What are you talking about?
LeBron sucked the soul out of Gilbert's body, and Mario was trying to suck the soul out of Bron to keep getting re-signed by the Heat. That's the difference.
Hey, fuck that. Bron, he called you a bitch on the court, and y'all was arguing. Bro,
now,
8 hours.
That's why I believe Rio, like, he feared Bron in no way on that team. You know what I mean? Like, they treated him like shit, and he did not care. He did not care. And he talked back, and he still balled out. Like, he was a major reason they won the 2 rings. You know what I mean?
Him and Norris Cole, baby. Turn me up.
Yeah.
That's why I believe him, because it's like he saw it firsthand, and he was like, he wasn't afraid.
Yeah.
All right, P. I know you got to have something juicy. You always do.
It kind of sucks, bro. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really hating no shit this week. It was the birthday. We was chilling. Like, hey. Oh. Matter of fact, I got y'all one. The motherfuckers that's hating on Mike Trout crazy right now are killing me, dog. Like, I understand, bro. Like, he struck out against Shohei to lose the WBC for his country. Cool. But, yo, it's the 2 best players in baseball doing their thing. The motherfuckers that don't even watch baseball was like, "This motherfucker, hey, Mike Trout suck. Y'all call him the GOAT, this, that, and the other." Like, bro, relax, dog. Like, Shohei is probably one of the best baseball players we've ever seen, ever. And he's going against them, doing his thing. Like, bro, it's the least of my concern, bro. Like,
and Shohei, let's keep in mind, Shohei still got to do what he's doing for another 4 or 5 years to even be in the same conversation as Trout. So,
I mean, at the end of the day, though, like
historically,
I'll say, me personally, Shohei already there. You know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, are we talking historically? Or are we talking like right
we
now?
are arguing historically, because if you look at what Mike Trout's done the last 6-7 years, it's nuts.
It's great. It's great though, but
the pitching aspect does help.
That's
Shohei's
what it is.
Case,
it's bro. The thing about Shohei is the motherfucker can win MVP and Cy Young in the same season. Like, this motherfucker, the level that he at, we've never seen a baseball player to be at the level that he's at, which is cool. But I'm just saying, like, we got couch potatoes talking about how this man strike out. You imagine a dude going up there throwing 100 fastball, 100 fastball, a 102 fastball, and then throw a slider that moved all the way across the world to strike a motherfucker out. And motherfuckers on Twitter went straight there. Like, oh, he sold the U.S. He sold the U.S. Bro, shut up, bro. Modern baseball fans, fuck them. You don't watch. Let's be honest. You don't watch.
Yeah, no, it's baseball.
Come on, you don't watch.
Another week, another fun round of hating and debating on everything. I bet y'all did not expect to hear Pierre and Deion's top 5 white people, but that's what we here for. Surprises.
Oh God. Okay, we had like
there's
top
just
8.
a couple things I'm gonna ask. One is that you saw Pierre earlier in the video. Like, comment, subscribe. keep tuning in. We on the road to 200. We almost there. Another thing, if you not, you better be rooting for Miami because I'm trying to have our next episode be a Deion bet celebration.
Hey, listen, Miami wins. Like, I might retire from everything. It's a legacy bet.
This might be the last time y'all see Deion, so this could be special.
Come on, hey, it's a parade inside this city.
It's nothing left for me to accomplish in life. I hit this future.
So y'all be rooting for the
I gotta
Canes.
reassess the goals.
I mean, look. At the end of the day, we just gonna keep going up. Okay. Deion's bet slip. Let's hope it hits, and let's hope y'all hit that like button.
Hold on, JK.
Hope y'all subscribe, and Pierre gonna make an announcement.
Like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube. Make sure y'all follow on the Twitter, man, for all the updates. We got clips dropping. We literally have clips. We have shorts. We have TikToks. Shit, this motherfucker might even be on Facebook. We don't know. Look, like I said, bro, it take 5 seconds. Just in case you skip my part early, you're gonna see me again. Like, comment, subscribe, follow the Twitter. JK, do your thing. You can take us out. I appreciate it.
Well, listen, that was the 11th episode. You already know we'll be back next week for episode 12. Ain't no telling what all we're going to get to talk about. But until then, we'll see y'all next time to do some more hating and some more debating. We out.